Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast. Training camps are underway. The NHL season is looming. We have preseason games tomorrow. The Habs play their first preseason game on Monday against the Philadelphia Flyers. Lots to discuss, Grant, and we thought, why not give our picks for the Calder Trophy this year? As this show pertains to prospects and the future of the NHL, I think it's only fitting. And you prepared 7 names because there are a lot of players that have a chance at the Calder Trophy this year. We're going to go through all of them. Later on, we're going to get to, obviously, this wouldn't be a Recruits Draftcast if we didn't talk about Ivan Demidov, who just so happened to have his best game so far in the KHL. You know we had to talk about it. That'll come later on. And as always, we're going to get to our prospect of the week. So without further ado, let's get started.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Recruits Draftcast.
With our first pick in the 2022 NHL Draft, les Canadiens de Montréal sont fiers de repêcher from the Slovakian national team and TPS Turku, Yuri Slafkovsky.
The sickest NHL draft and scouting podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Happy Friday, everyone. You've made it through the week. That intro is just amazing. I love that intro so much. You know what? We're talking about maybe putting in Demidov in there, but I want to keep this like that for now. Yuri Slafkovsky deserves the love. He's been really good in training camp, apparently, according to everyone who's been there. But that's beyond the point. Today, we're focusing on the future of the NHL, which he is a part of, but a bit younger. We're going to go talk about some rookies. As always, I forgot to introduce my co-host. How dare I? I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic co-host, Grant McCagg. Grant, how are you?
Well, I cut you off there a bit, so you're excused.
It's all good.
I'm not fantastic today, but hey, I'm glad to be here again for another week, another show.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you're here. We've been on a roll, and like we promised, we're going to keep going. All right. This is a 12-month operation. We talk prospects all year long, even when they're not playing, which is basically still today. There's games happening in Europe, and our prospect of the week, I'll tease it a little, plays in Europe because North American junior hockey has yet to commence. That's coming soon. But as I mentioned, training camps are underway, and this year's rookie class is stacked. I've rarely seen so many Calder potentials heading into the NHL season. I can list off a few names. We'll get to your 7 names in just a moment, but first overall pick, Macklin Celebrini, probably going to start the season. Projected to be on the first line with on Daily Faceoff. They have him with William Eklund and Tyler Foley. Not bad. I like that.
Yeah.
The talk of the town in Philadelphia, Matvei Michkov crossed over to the NHL earlier than expected. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, he is going to be starting in the NHL this year under John Tortorella. That should be a lot of fun. Dallas Stars have Logan Stankoven on their team, who we saw a glimpse of last year, looked fantastic. I'm a big fan of this player. He's in the running. The Anaheim Ducks have Carter Gauthier coming in, who they got from the Philadelphia Flyers. Another high-octane prospect joining the ranks. Obviously, Montreal Canadiens have a certain Lane Hutson, who is most likely going to make the team. Has not been confirmed yet, but you and I both agree he'll be on there. Back to the San Jose Sharks, they have Will Smith, right? A 4th overall pick. Calgary Flames have Dustin Wolf in net, who's likely going to be the starter. Back to the San Jose Sharks, they have Yaroslav Askarov, who they got on in a trade from the Nashville Predators this summer. Going to fight for the starting spot. They have 3 goalies there. Going to be a bit of a weird situation. LA Kings have Brent Clark, who's, gotta watch. He was one of the best defensemen in the AHL last year as a rookie. Like he's an impressive guy. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have Easton Cowan, who probably will make the lineup, but I think he's worth mentioning. So that's a lot of names. That is a lot of names. So Grant, I want to get to your list and shout out to our producer Juliana, who whipped this thing up. Looks beautiful. Let's have a look here, and Grant, I'll let you take it away.
Number 1. Surprise, surprise. I picked a Hab. I'm sure I'll get some homer calls for that, but hey, I don't know. I envision him running I presume he's going to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be on the first power play. And I believe that Montreal is going to have, with the additions of Doc and Line this year, and Cole Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slav just still getting better. I think that there'll be more. They had a half a year together last year.
Mm-hmm.
With Slav playing on the top unit, and there'll be more familiarity. But then you add Line and Hutson to that group, and you've got to. I think there's just so many options for Hutson to pick up assists, especially on the power play, and he just seems to be a point per game guy plus wherever he plays. And while I don't expect him to be a point per game player as an NHL rookie, I could see him getting 60 plus points this year. I really could. Now, you look back at Cale Makar, former Calder Trophy winner, and you look at his Calder year, he had 50 points. If Hutson makes a team and plays regularly, and I think that's going to be the case, I think that's the plan. So they're certainly going to start this year like that. I think he hits 50 points minimum this year.
Wow.
So if that's the case, typically a forward has to probably get at least 20 more points than the top most productive defenseman in the Calder race. So I don't know that any of these forwards that we have listed here will hit 70 plus points. And if Hutson gets 60 plus, he may be the top scoring rookie player this year in the league.
Wow.
Celebrini's 2 years younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it might take him a year before he's really hitting his stride offensively. For that reason, I think he'll come in and he'll play top 6 role and be very good all around right off the bat. But
yeah,
there's not a ton of support there. I like Tyler Toffoli, but is he? I don't think he's a legitimate on most clubs or any club other than San Jose. I don't think you'd pencil him onto a first line.
Right.
And Willie Meckland is still, he's got some more experience, and he's only just now starting to reach his potential. So if that's their top line, I don't think he's with either guy's a point per game guy or even close to it, really. So I'd be surprised if he gets more than 60 points as a rookie, but I wouldn't put it past him. He's so good. Look at the first 3 names are all out of Boston, right?
That's right.
BU, BC. But I think it might come down to the 2 BU lads, the former teammates, Hutson and Celebrini. A lot can happen, but I think they'd be the early betting favorites for me. Obviously Cutter Gauthier, he's pretty well-rounded prospect. He's going into a team where I think he'll get a top 6 role. Yet, some of the guys that are in the top 6 are pretty good. They may be young, but there's a lot of talent there. But because they're so young, there's probably not an 80-point guy again for him to play with. So I don't know that he'll put up the numbers that would put him ahead of Hutson if Hutson puts up 60 plus points. I mean, Hudson's going to be playing with. I think Suzuki gets 80 plus this year. Yep. I think Slav and Caulfield may as well, if that trio stays together all year. Laine's capable of putting up close to a point per game, I do believe. So if he's got that kind of, somebody's got to set these guys up, right? They get 80 points each. There's got to be a defenseman that puts up good numbers, and I think it'll be Hutson. So for those reasons, I have him edging out Celebrini and Gauthier as the 3 favorites to be the finalists at this point. But who knows, right? It's always I don't think you can ever predict.
Last year with Connor Bedard, I think most people saw that one coming, right?
No, but what I was going to say was I don't think you can ever predict the 3 finalists.
Right.
If you do, it's very rare.
That's true.
Yes, sometimes, there's years where you can predict who will win, but there's usually a surprise or two in the 3 finalists. So, I don't expect all 3 those to be the 3 finalists, but that would be, if I was, a betting man, if I was going on Betway, just to throw it out there, I'd lay a bet on those 3 being the finalists.
Yeah.
What do you think of?
I while you were talking, I just went on a betting app here, and I wanted to see the odds. Who is the betting favorite at the moment, and standing at plus 400. That means that it's really up in the air. Usually I think Bedard was minus something because of how much of a sure thing he was, but plus 400, and the leader right now is Matvei Michkov. Matvei Michkov at plus 400 is number 1. Macklin Celebrini at plus 450. So again, they're pretty close there. Number 2, Logan Stankoven, same odds, plus 450. Number 3, Lane Hutson is at plus 800 right now. I think that's good value if you want to put some money on that. We don't incite betting here, but if you want to make a little bit of profit, maybe. That's it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm excited for this draft, for this rookie class. It's one of the deepest I've ever seen. I don't remember a time where we headed into an NHL season with this many potential Calder winners. Like these aren't just candidates. Oh, okay, this guy might squeak in. No, these guys could all win it. That's impressive, man. That is impressive.
I just noticed Michkov's got a T in there. We got a little spelling mistake, but I think people know who we're talking about there.
You know what? Let's spend a few minutes on Matvei, because he is the betting favorite at the moment. A lot of people expect a big season out of him. My main concern, I actually have 2. I don't know who he'll play with yet, which is a bit of a concern. The Flyers are a weird team. I'll just say it like that. They're a weird team. I don't quite see the vision yet. They're kind of in this gray zone of, okay, they've got some good players, but they're not contenders, and they don't suck enough to be tanking. So they're kind of just in the middle there, right? I don't know that Michkov is going to have the line mates that kind of fit with his style, with his vision, that will allow him to be the player that many people think he can be. And then my second concern here is behind the bench, right? John Tortorella is not exactly the style of coach that would best suit Matvei Michkov from my perspective. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, but I don't know how those two will gel together. I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited to see how this this pans out, should be an interesting season over there in Philadelphia. What do you think?
Yeah. What do I think of Michkov? Well, I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
Gotta love him. No. Well, I mean, he's coming from Sochi, okay? Now, Sochi was a bottom feeder in the KHL last year. They needed all the help they could get. So he got a top 6 role. He played 3 minutes a game on the power play. He was handed the do what you want out there. We need the goals. So whatever, we're going to play you regardless. Different story in the NHL. Little more emphasis on your play away from the puck, especially an old school coach like Torts. You got to play well all away from the puck. I mean, Morgan Frost's still trying to get a regular spot on the Flyers.
Yeah.
Is Michkov going to just be handed it's going to be very interesting because there's so much pressure. Torts is a stubborn guy, but he's also knows that, Michkov's probably going to have to become a good player for them down the road to do anything, to be good. He's got to develop him. So is he going to play hard ass with him, or is he going to give him leeway? I mean, his track record says that he's going to play hard ass with him, right? So, but man, fans will be just livid because look at the expectations, right? Like the betting line has him winning the Calder. I don't know. I don't see him playing a top line role because he's got to learn defense, and you just don't get thrown out against other teams' top. A couple of -3 games there, getting lit up by other teams' top lines. There's no way that Torch is going to keep him on the top line, and I think that will happen if he's thrown to the Wolves. So I expect him to be middle line for the most part. Power play, obviously. But their best forward is Konechny.
Yeah,
right now.
I like Owen Tippett as well, but they're both wingers. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think Michkov needs a good center.
Tippett isn't a two-way guy. Okay.
No.
So you don't play Michkov with him. Konechny's 5'9.5". Do you have 2 5'9.5" wingers on your top line? He'd be the only one in the NHL. So odds are that you have to complement him with a bigger defensive minded winger on the other side, and probably a good two-way center as well. So, is he going to be given the top scoring line mates? Not if they want to win. And knowing Tortorella, they want to win.
Yeah.
So, do you want a top line that scores a fair number of goals but gives up a friggin' bushel of them and is all -20, -30? Well, that's not a team that's going to make the playoffs if that's your top line. So I think Tortorella wants to make the playoffs, and they don't want to, lump too much on Michkov at the start. So he's probably, I figure that he'll start out. I don't think you can start him out top line and maybe 15 or so minutes a game with somebody that plays two-way game that's maybe not a great offensive player. So does he score 60 plus points as an NHL rookie? I don't know that he will. He might hit 30 goals. It's a possibility because he's always scored. He's got a knack for scoring. He'll score goals in the NHL. There's no denying that he's a talented player. He's always done it. So he'll find a way. But I think the rookie of the year has got to get at least 60 plus points this year, especially if it's a forward. Might need 70 plus. And I just not right away for Michkov, not with that team, as you say, and not with that coach. I don't think that it sets up for him to be a a point per game guy right off the bat in the NHL. I think he could probably get to that maybe down the road, but right now, I think that's asking a lot. There's going to be some learning curve. There'll be some lessons. There'll be probably be some benching. Knowing what's that word you were saying to me before the show? That Russian word?
Oh, suka. That's the only Russian I know. Suka.
There might be some suka there in Michkov's future, and hopefully he handles it the right way. I guess they were doing a bag skate yesterday. I didn't hear how he did
something with the
that.
rope. Torts' rope exercise. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know. I just saw that online. It was pretty funny.
But Matvey might be saying, "Geez, I wish I was back in Sochi right now."
Yeah.
But hey, if he's not in shape, he'll be by the end of training camp. They'll have him.
That's for sure.
In shape. So
it's
an interesting dynamic. We'll see. But I don't. I've got him listed 5 or 6, and maybe that's too low. I know I've been a little hard on him in the past, but he's still got to show me. He wasn't good enough to make Scott start of last year. At least that was their thought anyway. He had to go to a low team on the totem pole in the KHL, and he got his playing time. But, an NHL team is that much better. Does he just step in and, top line right away and score? He might, because he's certainly smart and he's skilled and he can shoot and he's going to score goals. But I think it'll take him a year anyways to adjust to come close to what he will be scoring regularly in the NHL, I think.
And that's it. I mean, it's so hard to predict because we don't really know who he's going to play with. Like that to me is the biggest factor. Like, who are his line mates going to be? And those line mates are going to change throughout the season. He's definitely not staying with the same 2 guys. He's going to move around. It's going to be interesting.
He's got to adapt. Sorry, Shane. He's got to adapt. He's got to adapt to the North American game too. Smaller ice, there'll be a lot less room. He's got his spot where he likes to stand off to the side of the net there. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of video study in NHL, and tons of it. The defensemen are bigger, smarter. They'll freaking have him covered. He won't get nearly as many chances he won't have nearly as much time to set up. The goalies will be that much better. So a lot of those shots won't get through in the first place, but then they have to beat NHL goalies. So he'll have to adapt his game. And if he can do that, and he's always showed that he can, certainly adapt his game offensively to score at whatever level he's at. So you expect production from him, but will it be Calder Trophy type production? I think it might be a year or 2 away before he's completely comfortable, and Torts is completely comfortable with him.
I can't wait. This Calder race is going to be one to follow, and we're going to be following it. So if you're not subscribed yet, do yourself a favor. Hit that button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new episode. We mainly cover the Habs, but guess what? We also cover the NHL and the future of our beautiful sport. Grant, before we move on, I'd like to give a big thank you to one of our beautiful sponsors here, and that is none other than Manta Sleep. I know you're a big fan of them. I'm a big fan of them. Tony's a big fan of them. They are the only mask designed and optimized for deepest possible sleep in any environment. Okay. Complete blackout. No light comes in. It's super comfortable. You have interchangeable eye patches, hot, cold, whatever floats your boat. Manta Sleep is for you. Use code SICKDRAFT to get 10% off of your purchase. That's how generous they are. These people are the best. MantaSleep.com. code sick draft.
Amazing. Worth every penny, even without the 10% off. I got it. I have to say, I love it.
I kind of cut you off there with your rankings. Did you want to get through the other?
Yeah, I think we better mention
the graphic again here,
especially considering one of them's a Leaf. Got it.
That's right. We got to we're biased, but we're not too biased. Okay, we're still going to give some flowers to Easton Cowan.
You know that I have to like a Leaf prospect if I'm listening to them for anything, if I'm giving them plaudits for anything. So, Cowan, I loved that pick last year, and I know a lot of Leaf fans because they look at these independent lists and say, oh, how come he's not in the first round of most of these lists? So had to be a bad pick. I know a lot of NHL scouts. It wasn't just the Leafs that had him considered a first round guy. I did. Mm-hmm. I had him ranked in the first. A lot of NHL scouts did. He was the best player in the OHL playoffs 2 years ago in his draft year. And then now, he follows that up. He wins the Red Tilson Award, best player in the OHL this past year. Looked fantastic in that first game, especially of the rookie tournament. Was the best forward on the ice against Montreal.
He was.
Either team.
Yep.
He's just so smart, so competitive, skilled. The Leafs could use another guy in that mix for the top six. What if he gets a lot of ice time with say Matthews and Marner or Matt?
I wouldn't be shocked. I
wouldn't be either. He's smart enough and skilled enough to actually get some time with those guys. And if he does, he could win the Calder. Like, he might put up 60, 70, 80 points. It's possible. I know the kid's he's defied the odds, in the past, and I could see him doing it again. So he's kind of my sleeper out of this group. But, I got to mention the Ottawa boy, Brent Clark. I mean,
phenomenal.
Top 10 pick. Yep. The numbers he put up in the AHL last year, awfully impressive for his age. He's going to come in and, get a lot of power play time, get a lot of offensive opportunity, I think, with the Kings this year. I think he's ready. If he does play a full-time role, he always puts up points, so expect good production from him. And like it or not, production is such an important part of winning a Calder Trophy.
Right.
Seems like it's the main thing. Just like winning the Norris now,
Yeah.
Defenseman puts up the most points.
Exactly.
It seems like that's the main criterion. So Logan Stankoven, while he played with, if he plays with Johnson as he did last year at the end of last year.
Oh, wow.
Wyatt Johnson, wow. It was, I believe they played with the captain there too, right? So that made quite a line. But if they're back together, that's a pretty good line. And
I think
Stankoven looked really good in his, in his 20 plus games that he played or whatever it was. And he looked very good. So if he ends up, they look good together. They look like there's some chemistry there. I love Johnson, as you know. So, that could be, they could be an excellent duo, and he'll put up good points this year as a little older than some of these guys. So that maybe gives him an edge too, right? So I think he's in the mix. He just, again, a smaller guy that's defied the odds. I think it's safe to say that he was a steal for Dallas in the second round.
Big time. And he lit up the AHL last season. Wow. He was easily one of the best players in the entire league. At that young age is very impressive. And without Joe Pavelski in Dallas this year, I think he's probably a lock for the top six there. He might even play with Hintz and Robertson on the first line. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So
maybe, but Jamie Benn and Wyatt, Love those
what a
guys,
line.
and
What a
it's why break them up? You know,
Yeah.
I
Dallas
think
is going to be good, man. Dallas is
Yeah.
going to be really good. You got Matt Duchene with Tyler Seguin and Mason Marchment last year were unbelievable, crazy good line. So watch out for Dallas, man. That's going to be a real team there. So I think Logan can really benefit. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I absolutely love him. He was fantastic with Team Canada at the World Juniors. He's just a guy you want to root for, right?
Yeah.
He's absolutely amazing.
And Will Smith, I get it, like, but I think Will's going to need a year of adapting, especially if I don't think he can play top 2 center in the NHL. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but
no.
If their plan is to play him at center, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be some long nights for him because he really needs to learn how to play away from the puck. He's always been he's always put up such big point totals in junior and college, where I think it was kind of, okay, we will look the other way with this. But he also had one of the best defensive forwards to come out of the draft in recent memory on his line, both with the national development team and last year with BC in Ryan Leonard, who I absolutely love. And it wouldn't shock me if he's actually, next year is a favorite for the Calder. Him and maybe Ivan Demidov. We'll see. He's not going to have Ryan and Gabe Perreault on his line this year. They did a pile of the spade work. Like Leonard was basically the center from center back in the defensive zone. And maybe he can find a similar winger that can do that with him on San Jose. But I believe that there's going to be some growing pains with him in his first year, and that he may not adapt quite as quickly as obviously the betting lines and a lot of pundits are thinking.
Yeah.
But the offensive skill is there, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up figuring it out and putting up a lot of points. And maybe he even ends up, where they have Toffoli. Maybe he ends up on Macklin's wing. Honestly, I think that down the road is what it could end up being, is that he's first line winger beside Celebrini, because I just think Celebrini complements him perfectly. He's the Ryan Leonard, of San Jose, that's going to be his defensive conscience and let him stand out at the other team's blue line like he always does. Macklin's taking care of things in the defensive zone. Right. But you want your center back anyways, but that wasn't what Will Smith ever did. So I think NHL coaches aren't going to be as forgiving, and he may ultimately end up as Celebrini's, main winger. But that would be perfect for him, because those two and Eklund could be just such a dynamic line down the road. We'll see, but I think that might be where he ultimately ends up. And the two goalies, I think Calgary's going to maybe have a few. I don't know how good they're going to be defensively this year. There might be a year or two of growing pains. So will Wolf, you're only as good as the guys in front of you, If he gets peppered, I don't know that he'll be great. It's such a question mark, and it's the same with Askarov. Who knows? They might have terrific years. They might, Askarov might end up playing some more games for AHL for all we know. He can be inconsistent, but I get it. They're highly touted, and if they have really strong years, then yes, But typically, a goalie that's in the mix for the Calder is on a good team. And I don't think Calgary, and especially San Jose, I don't think will be very good this year. They're just too young and too inexperienced.
I agree. So that is Grant's list. Let us know in the comments who your favorites for the Calder is. We want to know. We know the people who watch this show are very knowledgeable. You guys always give us some great comments. So we want to know who your picks are, who you putting money on, who's your dark horse, right? Last year, I don't think many people predicted Brock Faber to be a finalist. He was probably second best. So who's your dark horse? Let us know in the comments. Grant, this Russian debate, right? Michkov, Demidov, who is going to have the better career? That's all I've seen on Twitter for months now. Nonstop, just Flyers fans, Habs fans going at it and saying, no, this guy's better. We touched on one side of the debate. I think we have to touch on the other now. But before we do, got to give a big thank you to the people below you, Grant. That is Insta Customs, the highest rated apparel print shop in all of Canada at 4.9 Google stars. They specialize in direct-to-garment printing and embroidery. They're located just minutes away from the Bell Center on Rue Stanley in Montreal. Please do yourself a favor. Go check out their website at instacustoms.com. All right. As I mentioned, Ivan Demidov. We have to talk about him because he had a crazy good game. Let me clarify this. Is it SKA or SKA? Which one is it?
Both, I think.
Okay. Well, it's a stupid name regardless, but
nonetheless. Like it's SKA, but SKA's one syllable, right? So easier to
St.
say.
Petersburg in the KHL. Ivan Demidov, 4-point game. We have some video. Grant, I'll let you comment. Let's have a look.
Yeah. Well, I said last week that the next two games would be important for him, right? Is he going to? Is the ice time going to continue to slip, or will he? I guess it was 3 games ago now, and then he had the big third period where he played 12 shifts or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that was a good sign that the coach is going, realizes, hey, we've been shut out twice in a row. This kid might be our best offensive player, so gonna have to, see the writing on the wall here. We better play him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he played last game. The Kuznetsov line was just on fire. And as you can see here, he was all over the ice. The first period especially, they just dominated. They were all over them. But this kid is the real deal. There's just no two ways about it. He's leading SKA in scoring as a rookie.
At 18 years old.
The defending KHL champions. So that's where, I think, you look at Michkov last year, he couldn't he couldn't crack SKA. 4 games into the year for SKA, he had sat out 3 and he played 1, had no points. Well, 6 games into the year for SKA this year, Demidov's leading them in scoring and is 12th in the league in scoring. So, what can you say? It's just, I thought it doesn't surprise me at all, but after the first 3 games, if you'd have said he'll be leading them in scoring, I wouldn't have been so sure about that. But they brought in Kuzmin, number 59, to play on the wing. And for whatever reason, that just clicked. And that line was Kuznetsov was really starting to find it. The two of them, he's looking for Demidov, and Demidov just hit another. Once he got that first one, as I suspected he might, the confidence has risen, right? And now he's on a roll. So I like how as you notice here, he whiffed on that one, but he likes to play in the middle of the slot on the power play, kind of like as a trigger man there, but he's all over too. He reads the play so well. you know, the Habs scouts on that draft special that we saw, you know, talked about just how smart he is. And I think that might be the underrated part of his game for some. Absolutely. I mean, you see the skill, the pucks, but just reads the play out, you know, amazingly well. Finds the open spots for shots, knows where the puck's going. His play away from the puck is really good. You know, he went.
No one saw that go in.
What's that?
No one saw that go in. That shot was too hard. No one saw that go in.
And we saw that in preseason too. We scored one like that.
Goodness.
He's just got a rocket of a shot. Like he's got every offensive tool that there is, right? Playmaking, shot, skating, elusiveness, vision. Like he checks off every box when it comes to. Look at that play too. Again, another game where he could have had 2 or 3 other points other than what he got. So could have had a 6 or 7 point night. I know I said I believe on the last podcast, wait till he plays against Sochi. You
called it. Yeah, you called it.
Might see his first multi-point game, and then there you go. Boom.
Talk about 4.
I think what's also impressive is that he's on the ice at the end, right? Protecting the lead. That's right. Empty net goal. Well, big deal. Well, it is a big deal for an 18-year-old, especially Rottenberg, putting an 18-year-old out on the ice protecting the lead. You can see that just how it went in the span of 10 days from, he's got to be moved. His time's up there. They got to move him up. The dictator's not going to play him, to him protecting the lead at the end of the game. He had more than 15 minutes. I think you just see that ice time go up and up. But, you know, I like what they're doing. They have them as the third line. You know, so what's another team do? Do they play their third line against these guys? Because they're not really third line, you know. Kuznetsov, Demidov, it's probably their best line, really.
Right.
But so does the other team put out their top line and only play them 15, 13 minutes a game because you want them to match up against them? So it's not easy for the other team to figure out, well, what line do we put out here against them? Do we put them out against our top line and only play our top line 15 minutes, and then one of our lesser lines gets lit up by, you know, Ska's other lines? So I think it's not a bad thing that he's not playing 20 plus minutes right off the bat, and him and Kuznetsov are, you know. What was also nice was that he played on the first power play in that game, and I think I'd be surprised if you see him go back to the second unit now. He's already their leading scorer, so
6 points in 6 games, you know, kind of want it.
Yeah. But I mean, he's averaging 13-18 per game, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I looked at it's a little stat I like to do is because I think your points per 60 minutes is important, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can play 25 minutes a game and another guy can play 13. And if he has as many points as the guy that plays 25, well, he's producing a lot, you know, per 60 minutes at a better clip, right?
Yeah.
But so far this year, he's at 4.5 points per 60 minutes, which is that's rare. Not many do it. Connor McDavid, just you know, and then I'm not like, obviously it's the NHL, so it's different, but Connor McDavid's not 18 years old either, right?
And he's the best player in the world.
Yes. Connor McDavid last year averaged 4.8 points per 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And the KHL only awards 1 assist, right? He'd have more points. Like he had the second assist actually on the first goal last game. If they awarded 2 points, he has 5 points. And he would have had another assist earlier in the year too, if they awarded 2 assists. So only 2 points and he's averaging 4.5 points per 60 minutes. Now I looked at, he's only been on the ice for 2 goals against in 6 games. Again, last year he was just amazing with that stat, and that's really good. Like 0.33 goals per game against it's rare too. But so I look at goal differential, right? How many points per 60 minutes versus how many points per 60 minutes against? Well, he's averaging 1.5 goals against per 60 minutes. That's a goal differential of +3, which is just like, nobody will have that all year in any league, I don't think. I don't know if he could keep that up, but McDavid last year, again, as an example, he was on the ice for almost 3 goals against per 60. His goal differential per 60 was 1.9. Michkov is at 3. So, more than a goal difference better goal differential per game than the best player in the world as an 18-year-old in the KHL. So the stats tell it all right there. He's good defensively. He's good offensively. Rottenberg, there's not a hope in hell that he isn't a regular now playing. I can't see him playing less than 15 minutes a game. You just do they want to win or not? Right.
Right.
Their leading scorer, not on the ice. He's not on the ice for goals against. Rare. They've always have the puck when he's on the ice, basically. So, it's just you can run out of superlatives for this kid. I know we keep talking about him, but till best player outside of the NHL, I think they'll be making that argument if he keeps that up. He might finish. He might lead the KHL in scoring. It wouldn't shock me. He's just an amazing talent.
That is absurd. That's absurd. Yeah, we're going to keep covering this guy all year long because he's going to keep doing things like that all year long. So there you have it. That's your weekly segment on Ivan Demidov. And you know what? We might even throw him again on Sunday's show. We haven't decided yet, but screw it. We put him in Friday.
See what he does in the next game.
He deserves it. All right, we are at the point of our prospect of the week, and we're going to stay in Russia for this. But before we do, of course, people below me, cheapest T-shirts. All right, the cheapest rock bottom apparel, wholesale prices in all of Canada, 36 different clothing brands, and over 600 different products. Okay, you order today, it's shipped today, and you get it tomorrow. That is a fact. So why are you paying more for nothing? Okay. Visit CheapestTshirts.ca today. All right. We stay in Russia for our prospect of the week. Not playing in the KHL, but nonetheless a draft-eligible player showing some nice signs there. It's none other than Alexander Pershikov. There you go. I got it.
Pershikov.
Yep.
He I pour through all the stats early on in the year, and somebody's sticking out, right? You go have a look at him. Haven't seen this kid on any teams list or any independent lists or draft lists, but he scored 5 goals in 3 MHL games, and then got called up to the big team, Sieber. So I had a look at his game. Now, this is his last junior game here, but I looked at his his first KHL game. He got a point, actually, played 9 minutes and looked pretty decent. But last 2 games, 59-second shift, or 59 seconds, so 2 shifts. And then in the game a couple days ago, 39 seconds. So can't really bring you, can't show you highlights of that. So I decided to get them from his last junior game where he had 21 minutes where you get a decent amount of clips on him. But you can see here, he's number 12, good size, skates half decently. I mean, he's not wouldn't call him an exceptional skater, but it's adequate. But really good smarts, sees the ice well. Beautiful pass there, just as an example. Really like his play away from the puck too. You see him come back here hard and take the guy out. So there's some jams, some competitiveness in his game. He turns 18 October 19th, I believe it is. There's a goal, nice rebound. Again, reads the play well. So he's 17 at this point, and he's wearing an A.
Wow.
In the NHL, which is, you always like to see. You don't know the character of these guys too well. Playing in Russia, nice feed there. It just didn't quite click. But, it's a testament to the kid's character if at 17 they're slapping a letter on the kid's chest. So, but you see it in just the way he plays. Look at that pass he just made there. He knew that there was no other player there, and he made the kind of the no look pass over. It was beautiful. Nice shot there. He's got a good shot. You'll see his second goal at the end of this. He scored 2 goals in 21 minutes. They lost 4-2, and he scored both goals. So it's not like, he's got a lot to play with there, but it earned him an early call up at 17 to the KHL, which always impresses. That there's good potential there. I thought he didn't look out of place. He was +2 in his first game in the KHL and got an assist. So the hope was that he would play regular shift the next game too, but he didn't. That's the KHL way. He'll end up back in the MHL, I'm sure, and maybe even the VHL. Perhaps they think that he's too good. But really liked his play away from the puck in this game. He's really hard on the forecheck, reads the play well, good motor, decent size and skill. He works hard, hustles on the back check, uses his size to neutralize the puck carrier. He fares pretty well in puck battles. And again, considering his age, it'll only get better. I think he's about 6'1", 190 or so. So he's got good size. I love that play there. He may have had 5 goals and no assists in the first 3 games in junior, but with teammates that could finish, he would have had a few assists too. So, you have to take that into consideration too. But play after play, smart play. Again, I focused quite a bit on his defensive, his play away from the puck because it impressed me. There was a smart pass, fed it back against the grain to the defenseman. I love seeing plays like that where that he's got a high IQ and that he sees the ice well. So there were a lot of little plays that caught my eye in this game. And then, on top of that, boom, nice shot, eh? He's got a really good one-timer. So, plays as I like to say, plays a kind of a North American style, where I think that he can make the adaptation to the North American game because that's kind of the way he plays, competitive, smart, good away from the puck, competes. It's not all just about offense. And, there are a lot of Russian players that that don't play a good two-way game. It can be a little bit, that's why guys like Yakupov, I can name a bunch that couldn't make it in the NHL because they weren't interested in playing away from the puck, but then they go back to the KHL, right? So there's a lot of those types, but he's not that type of player. Now, I'm not seeing him live, so you can only make your read on his skating can only be so good. And I'm sure NHL scouts, when they look at him, it's not perfect. There's work to be done there. So that might be if he's not a consideration for the top 3 rounds, it'll probably be NHL guys that know that can identify skating probably a little better than I can. That'll be the main reason, because the size is there, the production's there, the shots there, competes there, smarts are there, so he checks off a lot of boxes. And it's early on, and I only have a top 30, and he's not obviously in the top 30 at this point, but I've got video of him. He's going to be on my long list. He'll be someone that I'll keep an eye on all year. And if he produces, if he keeps playing he keeps getting KHL time, and he gets more than 59, 39 seconds in a game, and that picks up, he'll climb my draft list, and he might be a top 3 round guy. So a Russian to keep an eye on. Mm-hmm. Right now, they're the only ones really that have been playing regularly. So I've been pouring through a bunch of them, and he's one of the guys that wasn't, I hadn't seen anything on him going into the year, but I think you'll see him on the CS Central Scouting's first list somewhere, and he looks okay. So looks like a draft at this point, and we'll see if he can go up from there.
Yeah. So Alexander Pershakov is our prospect of the week. Fun show again, Grant. This is going to be an amazing Calder race to follow. I'm really excited. I don't really know who I have number 1 yet. I might join you in the Lane Hutson train. I'm a big fan of his, but there's just so many options, man. Like
he's the only
unreal.
He's the only one of those 7 that we've had on the show, so I don't know if my bias is setting in or not on that.
I'm sold.
Yep. I might like Canadians prospects a little more than other teams for some reason. But hey, he's defied the odds all the way along. I think he makes the Canadians. I think he runs a power play. And if that's the case, I think the Canadians power play is going to be top 10 this year, for the first time in a long time. And he'll be a big reason for that.
Man, got me excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. This preseason starts tomorrow, and for the Habs, it starts Monday against the Flyers. We might actually get to see Michkov against Reinbacher. That would be a lot of fun.
Whoa. Imagine if he scored a hat trick, and then dangled Reinbacher a few times.
You wouldn't hear the end of it.
There's almost a little part of me that wants that just for the shit show that would follow, but it's probably not going to happen.
No, Reinbacher.
He might score 3 goals, but I don't think it'll be dangling Reinbacher. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see, and we will be back later on in a few days with our Habs prospect of the week. So stay tuned on that. And depending on when you're watching, I will be on replacing Matt O'Hayan tonight on the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro. I will be joined by the Montreal Gazette's Stu Cowan. So be sure to tune in at 10 p.m.
You're not having me on? You're not having me on?
I don't make the decisions, Grant. But hey, I had you on here. It was a blast. I think the people enjoy it. Okay, all right, that's awesome. So I am producer Shane. That is Grant McCagg. We will see you all on the next episode. Take care, everyone.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.